Renfro. Unless Lund will tune it, I'd never go standalone. You can hear that trans isn't happy, right? Donnie owns a 24 F-150. And when that transmission starts flaring, boo, nah, I'm good. I'm good. See, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. I got a first-person experience in what incorrect math calculation does to a Coyote vehicle. When I first moved down to Florida, I was being trained by someone at Lund Racing that was located down here. And they had a Whipple, an orange Whipple S550, 132 millimeter throttle body, I think ID1000s, and a fuel system, and a 2.9 front feed. Okay, so he's driving me around town, and I'm like, I can't really get a feel for the car because it's a manual. Because he's showing me around, and I'm like, okay, this car feels okay. It feels kind of wonky, So I'm like, okay, it feels okay. He goes, "Do you want to drive it?" I go, "Sure, I'd love to drive it." So I get in it, and I give it 30% pedal. So I take off manual. Woo, 30% pedal. Ooh, the car goes watt without me manipulating any more pedal. Boo! I'm like, hello? My foot is at 30%. Why is this thing accelerating as if I'm watt? So I let off. And I look at him and I go, what the fuck was that? He goes, what do you mean? I go, what do you mean, what do I mean? This thing had a runaway throttle. And this is the look he gave me. It's kind of hard to explain the look. But the look, I suspect, is like, oh shit, he's not stupid. It's like, okay. Yeah, it feels like a runaway throttle. And then I said, it almost feels like the pedal mapping is not right. And again, I had no guideline as to the terminology, but I said it feels like the pedal mapping is not right. It feels like it's just climbing. It's almost like, so then fast forward a couple of months, I was like, oh, this is a torque calculator? The car's a torque calculator? Oh yeah, he had too much torque put into this area to make the car feel a certain way. So how many of you have gotten in a car and you're like, oh my God, this thing's a bat out of hell. I didn't even have 10% throttle in it, and it was so badass. Imagine if I had the other 90% throttle. No, asshole, your tuner sucks. And at 10% throttle, it went watt. That's what happens. So you guys go, dude, I wasn't even on it halfway. Could you imagine if I had the other 50%? No, if you look at the data log, throttle is slammed open at 30% pedal. Wop, whatever. Or the torque calculation is all fucked up. So I would always laugh when people would go, oh man, my last tuner made it feel way more snappy. You mean your last tuner had incorrect torque calculations in there. So now the pedal with this tune feels longer, but it is linear and correct. Meaning if I want to go wide open throttle, most Mustangs that we tune don't really go watt unless you're over 70% pedal. Meaning you have to be intending. And even then, I've seen data logs where the pedal is at 86% and the throttle is at 74%. And I go, I'm sorry, the pedal is like 75 pedal, 75 throttle angle. And I go, you didn't go watt. Yes, I did. Pedal is 73% or 75%. Throttle angle is not 82 or 85, which is a degree. In terms of degrees, because you don't want 90 and you don't want 100%, because the throttle will do this. So I laugh when people would say that about their tuners.